Let me walk you into a truth that might surprise you, because it surprised even some of my colleagues in nutritional medicine. For decades, we've celebrated papaya as one of nature's most generous fruits. It's tropical, it's vibrant, it's medicinal. Rich in digestive enzymes like papain, it aids in breaking down proteins and soothing inflammation. But the very property that makes papaya so powerful is also what makes it quietly dangerous when combined with certain foods, particularly dairy. Imagine this. You're starting your day with a papaya smoothie. Maybe you've added a little milk or yogurt, thinking it's a nutrient packed, gut friendly way to energize yourself. And for many, it seems innocent. But under the surface, something completely different is happening inside your body. Something that over time can compromise your digestive health and reduce your ability to absorb the very nutrients you're trying to consume. Papain is not your average enzyme. It's active, aggressive, and designed by nature to tear down proteins into usable amino acids. That's great when it's working on your food, but introduce it to casein, the main protein in milk, and it becomes a biochemical brawl. Instead of enhancing digestion, the papain starts attacking the dairy proteins prematurely before your own digestive system even has a chance to intervene. The result? Clumped, undigested particles in your gut, bloating, and increased intestinal inflammation. For younger people with resilient digestion, this might just feel like a little discomfort. But for seniors, who often already deal with sluggish digestion, reduced enzyme production, or even a sensitive gut lining, this food pairing can start to erode gut integrity in ways that aren't always obvious. What seems like harmless bloating could, in fact, be chronic low grade inflammation that begins to impair nutrient absorption, weaken the gut barrier, and leave you more vulnerable to nutritional deficiencies. Now, let's go one layer deeper. Dairy is often consumed for its calcium, especially important for seniors who are trying to protect bone density. But when you combine dairy with papaya, the very enzymes that make papaya beneficial actually begin to disrupt the absorption of calcium, think osmium. Studies have shown that enzymatic interference can change the solubility of calcium salts, making them harder to assimilate. So, in a twist of irony, this health focused combo could actually be depleting the very minerals your bones need to stay strong. Let me be clear. Neither papaya nor dairy is inherently harmful on its own. This is not about fear. This is about precision. When we treat our food as medicine, we must understand not only what we're eating, but how we're combining it, especially as our bodies age. Because small mistakes repeated daily become major health trends over time. You deserve better than guesswork when it comes to your health. And sometimes the most dangerous choices are the ones made with the best intentions. When you begin to understand the quiet battles happening within your gut, you start to make choices not out of habit, but out of wisdom. And that wisdom can protect your body for years to come. There's a common assumption in the wellness world that more is better, especially when it comes to fruits. You hear it all the time: eat the rainbow, pile on the antioxidants, get your vitamin C. And while those principles have their place, they can also mislead. Because even the healthiest nutrients, when overconsumed or poorly combined, can turn from protectors into potential triggers, especially for seniors. One of the most overlooked examples, mixing papaya with citrus fruits like oranges or grapefruit. It sounds refreshing. It sounds wholesome. But it's far from harmless. Let's begin with what makes both fruits appealing in the first place: vitamin C. Papaya is already loaded with it. Just 1 cup provides well over your daily recommended intake. Oranges and grapefruits? That rapid sugar rush also causes oxidative stress. And for aging cells already working hard to fight inflammation, maintain DNA integrity, and recycle damaged components, this becomes one more burden, one more inflammatory trigger, one more reason your mitochondria can't keep up. The result is fatigue, mental fog, joint pain, and over time, chronic disease patterns that don't appear tied to diet, but often are. Many people are also unaware that combining fruits like banana and papaya can cause digestive sluggishness rather than the opposite. Their soft fibers may slow transit time, especially in older adults with less digestive motility. What you think is aiding digestion might actually be weighing it down, that bloated, heavy feeling you get after a seemingly light fruit meal. That's your body trying to tell you that something's out of sync. I want to be clear, neither papaya nor banana is inherently harmful, but the combination, especially for older adults with metabolic vulnerabilities, is a silent trap. The damage doesn't happen in a day, but it accumulates quietly every time the body is forced into a blood sugar spike and recovery cycle. When we treat food as medicine, we must respect its power, not just to heal, but to harm when misused. And the path to a longer, stronger life isn't about adding more healthy foods. It's about learning how to combine them with intention. The difference between thriving and declining often lies in the details we've been taught to ignore. Most people are taught to think of food in isolated terms. This fruit is good, that supplement is helpful, this fermented food boosts your gut health. But real healing doesn't happen in silos. It happens in systems. It happens when the choices you make speak the same biological language. And sometimes, when two healthy foods are consumed together, their messages clash, creating internal confusion instead of harmony. That's exactly what happens when papaya is consumed alongside fermented foods. It may sound like a wellness dream, papaya for digestion, kimchi or kefir for gut microbiota. But the truth is, this particular combination often backfires, especially in older adults. To understand why, we have to look at the role of enzymes and microbial balance. Papaya contains a potent enzyme called papain. It's designed to break down proteins quickly and efficiently. That's part of what makes it useful in managing bloating and indigestion. But when you pair papaya with live culture fermented foods like sauerkraut, miso, or probiotic rich yogurts, you're throwing that enzyme into a microbial ecosystem it wasn't designed to manage. These fermented foods rely on lactic acid bacteria, which produce their own enzymes and acids to help maintain the delicate pH of the digestive tract. The presence of papain disrupts that balance. It accelerates protein breakdown beyond what your microbiome is prepared to process, potentially resulting in increased gas production, acid reflux, and in many cases, intestinal discomfort that people mistakenly blame on stress, age, or unrelated gut issues. What complicates matters further is that many seniors already have compromised digestion. As we age, the production of stomach acid declines. This can lead to a condition called hypochlorhydria, which affects nutrient absorption and makes the gut more susceptible to pathogenic bacteria. Fermented foods, in moderation, are often recommended to support the microbiome in this context. But when combined with papaya, that careful equilibrium can be disturbed. The gut becomes overactive in some places, underperforming in others, and the result is dysbiosis or microbial imbalance. This isn't just a matter of temporary indigestion. Repeated disturbances in microbial signaling can lead to more systemic consequences. An imbalanced gut contributes to inflammation throughout the body, affects mental clarity, impairs immune response, and can even exacerbate autoimmune conditions, many of which are prevalent in seniors. All of this triggered not by unhealthy choices, but by uninformed combinations. And the food we eat can support our body's healing mechanisms, but only if it's in alignment with the body's natural rhythms. Just because something is labeled a gut friendly doesn't mean it will always be gut compatible, especially in certain pairings. True wellness begins with understanding how each component of your diet interacts with others. The most powerful meals are not just nutritious, they are harmonious. You don't need to fear papaya or fermented foods, but you do need to respect the context in which you consume them. Because when your gut is calm, your mind is clearer, your energy steadier, and your body more resilient. The power isn't just in what you eat, it's in how you bring it all together. There's a fascinating paradox I often encounter in clinical nutrition. The very foods people reach for to heal are sometimes the same foods that, when combined improperly, can quietly do harm. And this paradox becomes even more significant as we age. The body becomes more sensitive to fluctuations, more reactive to excess, and less forgiving of overload. One combination that falls squarely into this category is papaya and leafy greens, specifically when it comes to the body's ability to absorb iron. Now, to be clear, both papaya and leafy greens are deeply nourishing in their own right. Papaya is rich in vitamin C, a key nutrient that enhances the absorption of non-heme iron, the form of iron found in plant-based foods. Leafy greens, on the other hand, Think spinach, kale, Swiss chard contain plenty of this type of iron. At first glance, this pairing seems like a nutritional win. The papaya boosts absorption of the iron in greens, but that's precisely where the hidden danger lies. The elderly body doesn't process iron the same way a younger body does. Over time, iron regulation becomes less efficient. For some seniors, especially those not suffering from anemia or iron deficiency, excess iron begins to accumulate in tissues where it doesn't belong, like the liver, joints, heart, and brain. This is known as iron overload, and it's far more common in older adults than most people realize. It's also dangerous. Iron is a pro-oxidant, which means in excess, it promotes oxidative stress, a driver of cellular aging, inflammation, and degenerative disease. Now, picture this. You start each day with a nutrient packed green smoothie loaded with spinach and kale, blended with a generous portion of papaya. You believe you're supporting your energy, your immunity, your digestion. But beneath that intention, your body may be experiencing repeated surges in iron absorption day after day. And because symptoms of iron overload are subtle at first, fatigue, joint discomfort, mild brain fog, you may never associate them with your breakfast choices. This is where the difference between nutrition and nutritional wisdom becomes so critical. It's not just about getting more nutrients, it's about getting the right balance at the right time in the right combination. And that's especially true for aging bodies, where balance determines not just how we feel in a single day, but how we protect our health over time. There's another layer. Many seniors take multivitamins or fortified foods that already contain iron. When you add enhanced dietary absorption from vitamin C rich papaya to that baseline, you're increasing the body's iron load even more. And because the body doesn't have an active mechanism to eliminate excess iron, it stores it, often where it causes harm. If you're eating for longevity, the goal isn't to flood your system with nutrients. The goal is to optimize them. Precision, not abundance, is what supports healthy aging. When you start thinking like your body does, always aiming for balance, never overload, you begin to make choices that serve you deeply, not just immediately. The key isn't just to eat well, it's to eat intelligently, with every bite building toward long term vitality. There's a quiet interaction happening in your body every single day between the foods you eat and the medications you rely on to stay well. For most people, especially seniors, this delicate balance is maintained without a second thought. Mouth. You take your prescriptions, you eat your meals, and you move on. But what if I told you that something as seemingly harmless as a bowl of papaya could alter that entire equation, subtly, silently, and sometimes dangerously? As a physician, I've spent years studying how certain foods act like natural medicines, but I've also come to understand how those same foods, when combined with pharmaceuticals, can act like biological disruptors. Papaya is no exception. Papaya is no exception. Beneath its soft texture and sweet flavor lies a biochemical compound that most people have never heard of. This natural alkaloid has mild blood thinning properties. On its own, it's not usually a concern. But when you're already taking anticoagulant medications like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel, this gentle plant-based blood thinner can push your body into a dangerous zone. Now, let's take this a step further. Many seniors are on long-term heart medications to reduce the risk of stroke, heart attack, or deep vein thrombosis. These medications are carefully dosed. Your doctor monitors your inner levels, your clotting times, your liver function. But what your physician may not know is that your seemingly healthy dietary choices, like eating papaya daily, can interfere with that balance. And when papaya is combined with other blood thinning natural foods like leafy greens rich in vitamin K or ginger, the effect is magnified. What begins as nutritional intention transforms into a pharmacological complication. I've seen cases where patients, without realizing the impact of their diet, develop unexpected bruising, prolonged bleeding after a minor cut, or worse, internal bleeding. Not because of a dosing error, but because of a food medication interaction. These are not allergic reactions or food intolerances. They are chemical misalignments, and they happen inside your body quietly, without warning. What makes this even more concerning is that papaya is often included in detox diets, gut healing protocols, and wellness routines marketed specifically to older adults. The messaging says it's healing, anti inflammatory, heart friendly, and in isolation. That's true. But biology doesn't work in isolation, it works in interconnected systems. And when food and medicine overlap, the outcome depends on how well we understand their relationship. This is where true prevention begins. Not in waiting for symptoms, but in recognizing the subtle forces at play before they erupt into problems. And that requires a mindset shift. Don't just ask, is this food healthy? Ask instead, is this food healthy for me, given what else I'm doing to support my health? Papaya has incredible benefits, but for those on medications that affect clotting, it demands caution because your health isn't built on isolated choices, it's built on intelligent integration. The answers are already within your reach. The key is to connect them wisely.